Hey, heroes, and welcome to Geek Salad reviewing My Hero Academia episode 5 today. We're just doing one episode today, but we've got another extra thing going on.
Yep.
Anyway, as usual, I'm Mike.
I'm Joe.
And yeah, episode 5, What I Can Do for Now. We get introduced to a very important teacher, Mr.
Yes.
Shota Aizawa.
Yep, and my number one character, my favorite character in My Hero Academia.
Yeah,
Though he's not very lovable at first.
No. Yeah, I mean, we get introduced to him in literally the first few minutes of the episode.
He's also kind of in the previous episode. He's a background character too. You just get a brief kind of glimpse at him. So but you don't know who he is. You know he doesn't get introduced until this episode.
Right, but yeah, and then we see Izuku. It was I think it takes place. I think it's 3 months, two or 3 months after the entrance exams.
Yeah, I thought the entrance exam was like in February. So this is like the new school year. So this is probably 7 months afterwards.
I believe it says it's like April or May.
Oh, so yeah, I don't know. Well, I don't know what the Japanese school system is like. So I don't know when their summers are or when their school year start and stuff. So
right, but but anyway, they start there, and we see him heading off to school for the first day, and we see his mom saying, "I'm so proud of you." Oh.
Yeah.
Granted, the first few episodes, we get one kind of picture of Mrs. Midoriya, but as the episodes go on, I really, really like her character. I think she has a fantastic little arc.
Oh yeah.
She obviously had her doubts about Izuku, but it's still his mother, and it still has motherly love.
Oh, of course, yeah, that doesn't change,
Right. But then we get his first day at UA.
And what a first day it was.
Yeah. We get introduced to his classmates. And then we get introduced to Mr. Aizawa.
Shota Aizawa, a.k.a. Eraserhead.
And by the way, it's still about a season off, but I love the story of how he gets that name.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, yeah, and another great thing about that I just realized last week. I was just thinking about when we first meet Aizawa. He's in that big, huge cocoon sleeping bag.
His sleeping bag, yeah.
He's always in. And when I was first watching the episodes and all the shows, all the episodes, I was like, he must maybe it's because he uses his eyes a lot. He wants to rest them out, so he sleeps a lot. And then I just had a realization last week. He's a nighttime hero.
Right. Well, he's. I mean,
he shines the spotlight.
He's the equivalent. He's the analog to Batman. It's except that he has actual powers, but he's when they introduce him, the other students, when they finally figure out who he is, the other students say, "Oh, he's the underground hero. He's more vigilante than pro hero."
Right. Yeah. He goes out at night.
And also because like All Might says, he shuns the spotlight because he feels it interferes with his work. So when's the best time for a hero to work? Well, at night, because nobody's going to be paying attention.
So that's why he's always carrying around that sleeping bag, because he sleeps
during the day.
I never picked up on that until last week.
Well, it's funny because when you first get introduced, you're thinking, oh, he's just like this laid back, just kind of lazy. He doesn't really want to be there, but he just kind of is because he has to be kind of situation. But then right off the bat, you figure out that there's a reason why he does the things there's a reason why he does what he does. And there's always, his motivations is he's going to push these kids to be the best they can.
Right.
He may not look like it, he may want to be he may spend 90% of his time in the sleeping bag, but when it counts, when it's needed, he'll push the kids in the right direction.
Right.
And you see that in the first series of tests.
I mean, and also, I mean, like he is all about what is the most logical course for teaching these kids, and if he comes right out and say it, whoever comes in last, and like because he says I'm gonna put you through all these all these tests to test your abilities, and whoever comes in last has no potential and will be expelled immediately.
He's getting expelled, right? So you're thinking, oh great, this guy's a hard ass right off the bat. You're like, Jesus,
Yeah, and I'm fairly certain. I mean, yeah, it's not revealed until the next episode, but I'm fairly certain he is 100% accurate. He was going to expel.
Oh God, whoever. Yeah, and you're thinking all along it's gonna be Deku, because he, as you saw in the previous episode, he can't control the one for all, at least not yet. But he makes a big, huge step in this one, and then you start seeing, okay, now he's figured out what he needs to do and how he needs to control one for all. Like Shota said, like Ozawa said, is like, what are you going to do? Are you going to go 100% all the time and then be incapacitated, and somebody now's got to help you, and they're going to put themselves out because they got to help you because you used all your power all at once?
Right. Yeah. I mean, like Aizawa may not be the most personable teacher, but everything he does for a purpose.
There's a purpose, and it ultimately it's to teach the kids and teach the kids to be better heroes.
And I mean, like, when you first watch this episode and you hear him like talking about, talking to Izuku is saying, what are you going to do? Wreck your arm and be a burden on him? It was like, you get mad at him. It's like, no, Izuku's, he's trying. He's like, but then if you actually just think about what he's saying logically, it's like, he is 100% correct.
Right, exactly. Deku can, like after the last episode when Deku took out the giant mech to save Ochako. Well, he was useless afterwards. What if there was something else?
Yeah, if all those robots were like still active, going around, he would be dead weight. Anybody that was going to save him would be in danger.
Right, exactly. And I think that's the point that Aizawa was making, and he made it very well.
Yeah.
And to Deku's credit, he picked up on that.
And I mean, he realized, and this is really the first moment where you see Deku is starting to figure out how to control one for all. Not perfectly, but enough that it is what he can do for now.
Right, exactly. And again, I mean, this episode did a very good job of showing what the class dynamics are going to be. Who the kind of main side characters are going to be, at least in this first season, and going forward and stuff like that. So,
to a certain extent, I mean,
yeah.
I mean, it's really not like another 3 episodes. Episode, I think 8 is the when we really start seeing some of the others in action. But this one's a good way, good kind of just quick introduction to a lot of the episodes, a lot of the side characters.
Right.
I will say that for me, the ending of the episode, I think if they'd taken out one single shot, one single like quick clip, I think it would have been a much, much better ending.
Which one?
Like when he's actually throwing the ball, if it just cut out that quick shot of his finger.
Yeah.
And then like just showed him like throw it and then just see the injured finger after that, and then have All Might explain everything. I think it would have been a lot better. But having All Might explain everything at the end was like, you already saw what he did. I think it was just you're
right. But the thing is, that's a generally a trope that's used a lot in anime. Is like you see the protagonist's actions, you know what he's doing, but it always takes either the protagonist or somebody else to explain. Okay, this is what happened. So it's a trope. You kind of get used to it. You watch as much anime as we do. It's like, okay, yeah, it comes, it happens.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I just like, if they just take out that one like 2-second clip, I think it would have been a lot better. But it's a minor nitpick. Otherwise, I think it's a really great episode.
Oh God, yeah. These first few episodes again, they're very kind of fast paced, very jump into it. We're not gonna spend a whole lot of time on exposition right now. We're just gonna this is Deku's first day in at UA High, and now he might get booted out. Oh, okay. Well, geez.
I would have loved to see the opening ceremonies.
Yeah, and Ochako brought that up, which is kind of funny. He's like, this isn't. But again, it goes to even All Might said this isn't your typical high school, hero high school. We take pride in doing things differently. So the other classes can do the opening ceremony. Aizawa said, okay, I want to see what your potential is right off the bat. Because even Aizawa said he's probably the most grounded hero in the series. He's like, you're not gonna. There's no time. There's no schedule when you're being a hero. Things just happen.
Yeah, I mean, he says, like they're saying, like, yeah, you're just gonna kick us out. That's not fair. He's like, and you think natural disasters are fair, villain attacks are fair,
right? Exactly.
In order to be a hero, you have to be prepared to handle whatever comes at you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
exactly.
all right. So So for the rest of our episode, we're going to do a quick little rundown of the rest of the students in Class 1A.
And that's another thing. Is like you said, they introduce some of the characters, but not all of them. Some of the side characters and stuff like that. So you don't see like some of the fan favorite. You don't get to meet some of the fan favorites just yet, but
right. So I mean, there's Izuku and Izuku Midoriya, Katsuki, Bakugo. We've gone over, and we will go more into them.
We will be discussing them at length.
The next 2 episodes are very much about those two.
Yeah.
So we're gonna start with Shoto Todoroki. We got to go. Quick thoughts on this guy because there is a lot more to go into him, especially next season.
Yeah, Todoroki, strong silent type. He's like every female otaku's dream.
Yeah. His quirk is hot, half cold, half hot.
Yeah. And he's the Human Torch and Iceman all put together.
Yeah. And he is literally bred to be the ultimate hero, and we'll leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that. Yeah. There's a lot of subtext going on with him.
Yeah.
He's probably the most complex character that this show has. I think it's easy. Yeah.
Also one of my favorites.
I think he's Soph's favorite. I think Soph likes him. Surprise.
He is absolutely one of my favorites. I've got another one of them over there.
But no, I mean he is arguably probably the most complex character in the series.
I don't think you're wrong. Except for maybe a couple of the villains.
Yeah. Well, villains generally tend to be. Anime villains actually tend to be pretty complex, which is not surprising.
All right. Next we got Ochako Uraraka. Everyone's favorite girl next door.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, she is the embodiment of cuteness. She is like, she's like every otaku's like waifu, perfect example of a waifu for everybody. I guess.
Yeah,
everybody's favorite girl.
Her quirk is zero gravity, and that's actually in episode 5 when just
infinity.
That I love that bit. But we'll go way more into her in several episodes as well.
Yeah.
Got also Tenya Ida.
He's one of those characters when you first meet him, you're like, oh God, really? And he plays into the trope too.
When we talk about Ida, we have to he plays into the trope of the very firm,
the very like rigid class leader. He is the trope of he's every anime trope of the class leader is like rigid and he follow the rules and stuff like that. But he Yeah, and at first you don't like him, but
Yeah,
again, as the series goes on, you delve into his backstory. You learn to like him, and you appreciate what he brings to the table.
yeah. When you're introduced to him in episodes 3 and 4, you're like, this guy is just he's got a stick up his ass. He's he's just too rigid, too by the book.
Right, exactly, and he thought that Deku was cheating. He immediately thought Deku was cheating or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, no, not quite there.
And also, among all of the students that were, saw what Deku had done, he was the only one that actually correctly pointed out that he did it not to take out that monster. He did it to save Ochako.
But he's the first to admit when he's wrong too. Ida will be the first to admit when he's wrong, and will own up to it, and then and will make amends to the person that he feels he wronged. So
yeah, and we'll get into him a lot more, especially in the next season.
And his quirk is Engine.
Engine,
and he is this show's analog to the Flash.
Oh yeah.
though not quite as carefree.
All right. Next we've got Eijiro Kirishima, quirk hardening. He's just a fun guy.
He's a fun guy. He quickly becomes kind of like Bakugo's second.
Yeah.
As the episodes were on, and later, but again, he really doesn't take a lot of the spotlight, at least not in the first couple of seasons. He really comes onto his own in the current season and stuff like that. So.
Okay, well, good to know. But even I've only seen the seasons 1 through 3. I haven't seen season 4 yet.
Yeah.
But even then, Kirishima's just the guy. He's the guy that you'd want to hang out with. He's
the fun guy, and like I said, he becomes kind of Bakugo's second. He's kind of the guy that tempers Bakugo's,
very much so,
temper and kind of cools him down and kind of tries to point him in the right direction.
Yeah. Seems like the only one of the few people that actually can get close to Bakugo without Bakugo threatening to kill them.
Yep.
All right, next we've got Suyu Asui, quirk frog.
Froppy.
But yeah, we'll get into that next season as well. But She's
also a fan favorite.
Yes. Rightfully so.
And it's easy to see why. Right off the bat, you kind of can see that she's going to be somebody you want to be paying attention to.
Yeah. Very straight shooters in terms of how she talks, but
yes,
she's always there to try and help people and support them. She's just such a you want to hug her.
Yeah, you do.
It's so great. All right, next we've got Momo Yaoyorozu. Her quirk is creation.
Yeah.
Definitely. She's one of the 2 students in class 1A who got in on recommendation. She didn't have to go through the entrance exam. The other one being Shoto Todoroki. So she is very well connected. She's also very rich.
Yes. That is kind of explained very early on.
Yeah, but also she has some major self-confidence issues that pop up.
But that doesn't. You really don't delve into that until later on. Until later on in this. Is it this season or the second season?
A little bit of both, actually.
She comes into her own in the provisional exam, but I think that's next season. So
yeah, it's next season. But she is definitely. I would say she's probably, if she's not the smartest one in the class, she's in the top 5.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
She is a brilliant student.
Yeah.
All right. Next, Minoru Mineta. His quirk is pop off, and what to say about Mineta?
Arguably the most problematic character in this whole show.
Yeah. Let's say he works better in a Japanese, more permissive audience than probably
than an American. Yeah, he kind of embodies everything that a lot of people have. A lot of the complaints that people have about certain anime. He's the especially the anime that caters to fan service.
Yeah.
He is the embodiment of that, and that can be a problem sometimes.
Yeah, and one like main big question I have about Mineta is how the hell did he pass that entrance exam?
I don't know.
I mean,
unless he's connected.
Unless he can probably make the robots stick to one another, but how the hell did he destroy them?
Who knows?
Who knows? Anyway, moving on. Denki Kaminari, quirk electrification. Fun guy.
He's another fun character. Yeah, again, and very useful quirk.
To a certain extent, yes.
To a certain extent. Well, if he uses it too much, he
short circuits, literally.
Yeah, he short circuits literally. He just got thumbs up and.
But yeah, no, he's someone that, again, much like Kaminari, he just kind of gets along with everybody. He's just a fun guy to hang around with.
Yeah.
All right. Next we got Kyoka Jiro, Rocking Girl, quirk earphone jack.
Yeah.
She's just punk rock in anime form.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
And she takes no shit from anybody. She is not afraid to use those earphone jacks on anyone that says to talk wrong about her or her friends. All right. Next, we've got Fumikage Tokoyami. His quirk, Dark Shadow.
He's again, you're not going to see him much in this episode, as especially in the upcoming episodes with the sports festival and everything else. He really kind of comes into his own. You really kind of learn more about him and his power.
I like how he has a very formal way of speaking.
Mm-hmm.
Not quite as rigid and unmoving as Ida.
Ida is, you're right, but
more of a kind of a classical Japanese formality to him.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of it is tied to his quirk, his shadow. There's a certain level of kind of darkness to him, to his character. So it kind of fits that he'd be very kind of formal and kind of, a little aloof, I guess would be probably the best way to describe him.
But I do also like the fact that Dark Shadow has its own personality.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to have them kind of play off each other every now and then. All right. Next, Mina Ashido, quirk Acid.
Kind of the ditzy airhead of the group.
Actually, I think that one is taken more by someone we're coming up to and a few students. She's more she's kind of she's very unique. She's a girly girl, but she's got pink skin and little horns, and she can throw acid. But she's still she wants to, she likes being around people. She's a social butterfly.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
I could totally see her being a YouTube star or a Facebook star or something like that.
Yeah.
All right. Next we've got Yuga Aoyama, the quirk Naval Laser. Wants to be French in the worst way.
But yeah, exactly. Yeah. And he kind of comes off as kind of somewhat he comes off as narcissistic, but again, you kind of learn as the series goes on that he really isn't. So,
but yeah, honestly, I think you really, even more so than Bakugo, it takes a lot longer to get kind of used to him and see some redeeming elements to him. Right. I don't think he has a really strong redeeming moment till maybe season 3.
Right, exactly. And even going into season 4, season 4 really kind of brings out a lot of some of these characters. Really kind of brings out a lot of their hidden potential. I guess you can say a lot of the things that. It really upends a lot of the first impressions you have of these characters. Yeah, because through most of the first three seasons, these guys they're still side characters, except for maybe like Ida and stuff like that that kind of take the center stage.
Yeah.
Most of the class 1A is our background characters and side characters. It's not until season 4 that they really start to come into their own, where you start learning more of their own individual backstories and stuff like that. So,
all right. Next we've got probably the most, even more so than Mineta, I would say the most unique looking student, Mizo Shoji, quirk duplicate arms.
Yep. He looks like he's got bat wings.
Yeah, he does. I mean, I think he's got a mouth under that face mask, but you never see it.
You never see it now.
And sometimes he's talking under that, but sometimes he's talking through one of his duplicate arms, and those can be, I mean, they're useful, but they can be really.
They're freaky.
They're freaky, yeah. All right. Next, we've got Hanta Sero, quirk tape. I mean, even in like you were saying, in the first 3 seasons, you get a few moments with Sero, but really not a whole lot.
Not a whole lot, and that's just a if you pardon the pun, that's just a quirk of the fact that you've got so many characters. I mean, you kind of have, some things have to get sacrificed, and some of these background characters are going to get sacrificed. He does have his moments, especially during the provisional exam and stuff like that. But again, one of those things, okay, he's one of Deku's classmates. That's basically what it is.
Yeah, I mean, you got 20 students and all the important teachers, so some of them are going to get less time than others, and unfortunately, Sero is one of the ones that doesn't get a whole lot of time.
Right, exactly.
All right. Next, we got someone that has been constantly called the most normal one of the group, and that's Mashira. I'm not even going to try for that first name. Ojiro. Quirk is tail.
Yeah, he's the most normal one, except for that prehensile tail that he's got going on.
I mean, that is one powerful tail too. When you actually see him in action with it, that thing can whack like crazy. I mean,
it's pretty thick. It's as thick as his torso, so I'm pretty sure it's pretty muscular.
Oh yeah, but one thing that he always just seems to have, like whenever someone calls him, "Oh, you're kind of normal," he's like, "What am I supposed to do?" I like him though. I think it's cool. He's a martial artist and he can use that thing to help out with his martial art. I think that's cool. Yeah. Next, we've got Koji Koda, his quirk and a voice. The ever silent Koda.
But he can speak to animals.
Yes.
I mean, that's basically that's his quirk. He can speak to any living. He can speak to any living creature. Basically, is what it is. I mean, it's not, in these first 3 episodes, you're really not getting a whole lot from about these guys. Again, it's just like you get little snippets of them, their personality here and there, but he's a shy, quiet guy.
You don't even hear him talk until midway through season 2.
Right, exactly.
By the way, we've got a couple of chats here. It looks like it's either your son or your daughter.
It's my son.
Okay. Oh, he says he loves you so much. Yeah. All right. Next up, we've got Toru Hagakure. Her quirk, invisibility. If anyone matches the description of girly girl in this
it's
class,
her.
It is her.
Yeah, it's easily her. Yeah.
Despite the fact that,
which I mean, again.
Yeah, I mean, and it's when you really think about her power, though, it's like, so 99% of the time she's walking around completely naked, but shoes and gloves.
If you think about it, yeah, she's got no clothes on except for maybe I think every once in a while she's got gloves and boots or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's just so you see that she's there. It's not like, it's not like she needs it or anything like that.
Yeah, it's just, but I mean, I love Hagakure because she's just so much fun. She's always trying to be the girl. She's she's the one that's most enthusiastic about being a cheerleader.
Right, exactly.
At
the sports festival.
Yeah, but I do like it when it starts showing like what she can, some of the more extreme things she can do with her powers, though.
Yeah.
All right, and the last one of Class 1A, Rikto Sato, or Sugar Rush. Again, someone
he's a walking diabetic, is what he is. I mean, it's basically what it is. I mean, he gets his energy from he gets his energy and strength from eating a ton of sugar.
Yeah,
but he also has a sugar crash like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, and the more sugar he consumes, the stronger he gets.
But the bigger the crash.
Less intelligent he gets. So that's a very nice little trade-off you got there. He's another one that it takes a couple of seasons, 2 or 3 seasons, before you really start seeing more about him. But
right, exactly.
He's a genuinely nice guy, though.
Mm-hmm.
He makes cake.
Well, of course he makes cake. He needs the sugar.
He's a great chef, actually. If he didn't want to be a hero, he could probably own his own restaurant. So that was Class 1A. Lots of students. Some we get to know very well over the next season and a half. Some it takes a little bit longer. Yeah,
but they generally all will get their spot, their moment in the spotlight, and again. As the seasons progress, you see the Class 1A becoming closer in a tighter knit group.
Yeah, I mean, much like it takes a few. We haven't seen them yet, but much like there's a League of Villains.
Yeah,
Class 1A is kind of like a burgeoning League of Heroes.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, you can see this class working together far into the future, even when they're pros.
Oh yeah. That's not saying that all members of Class 1B aren't worthwhile looking at. We just don't get a whole lot of time with them.
No, we don't get a whole lot of time with them, no.
Well, we get sometime with some of them, and they're really fun too.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, so that is our review of episode 5 and of Class 1A. What do you think? What did you think of What I Can Do for Now? And what do you think? Who's your favorite Class 1A student? Give us some friendly, civil comments down below. Give this video a nice thumbs up if you like it, and if you don't like it, give us a nice thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We do these videos roughly every week, and except when our internet goes out.
Yeah. Hopefully it doesn't happen too often, but
knock on.
Yeah,
I got a medal.
Thanks, Xfinity.
Yeah. Appreciate it. Anyway, we also do our podcast, which goes out on Spotify, Stitcher. No, not Spotify.
Yeah, Spotify.
Stitcher. Oh, okay, cool.
We're on Spotify.
Oh, cool. Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, our website, geeksalad.podbean.com. Here on YouTube.
Anywhere you can get your podcast, you're probably going to find us.
Right. Except maybe on Amazon Podcast. I need to look into that one. That's relatively new. Anyway, until next time, I'm Mike.
I'm Joe. I was going to say, I'm Andy. I'm Joe.
You're not Andy.
I'm not Andy. I'm not Andy. I'm not Catherine. I'm Joe.
Yes. So until next time, go forth, be nerdful, and plus ultra.